Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 14 watches for you guys and girls. Quite a few more than I would usually have in a drop and usually like to put in a drop, but as we're getting closer to Christmas, this is the first drop of December. I'm trying to get everything in and make sure you have plenty of time to have a look at the watches, make your orders and get them delivered before Christmas. So go get yourself a tea or a coffee and get ready, or if you're watching in the evening, maybe a nice whiskey or a glass of wine, and get ready for quite a long video going through some incredible watches, from some absolutely bonkers things up at the top to more mainstream to vintage. There really is something for everyone in this week's drop, and I'm hoping to sort of replicate this throughout the whole of December. And on those points of delivery and everything like that, if you go over to the website kibblewatches.co.uk, you will see a banner at the top of the page. It will be there on every page you go on to make it nice and clear for everyone. And it's got the shipping deadlines for Christmas and also what our closing times will be over the Christmas and New Year's period. So to explain, we use DHL for international. That is the case regardless really of anything, because it's who we have used across the board, and of course we've had problems, as has everyone with every courier service. They have, however, been the best we have used to date. So that's who we use, DHL Express. They will have their stated final delivery days on their website. However, from experience of doing this for many Christmases now, I always go before and say that should be the deadline. The reason being, customs can take up extra time. There is just the overwhelming process of Christmas and the amount of deliveries that happen. So therefore, I always cut it a bit short in terms of what I say should be the guaranteed date for final order. So what that means is the final date for international, if you are outside of the UK, should be the 10th of December. I know that sounds incredibly early, but it's to be safe, because we've had stuff stuck in customs for 2 weeks before, even longer, and obviously over the Christmas period they will be even slower and even more overwhelmed. So please, if you want a watch before Christmas in the rest of the world other than the UK, please make sure you order before the 10th of December, which is a Sunday. Now, if you are in the UK, that will be the 20th of December. Again, we use Royal Mail special delivery for the UK. Again, from experience, it's the best that we have ever used and will continue to use. So 20th of December is the final date we are saying for guaranteed before Christmas. Again, Royal Mail are apparently doing it right up until the 24th, as in you ship on the 22nd, which is the Friday. It will be with you Saturday, the 23rd of December. From experience years before, yes, some of them have worked out, but also some of them haven't, and then the wait time until the new year is incredibly long. So please, by 20th of December, have your orders in. So that's explained. That will be at the top of every page, and I'll probably reiterate it every single episode up until Christmas, so I apologize for the repetition. It will be on the Instagram stories, the WhatsApp. I want to make sure everyone knows, because there's nothing worse than ordering something, expecting it before Christmas, and you haven't read some small fine print that's somewhere where the company has hidden it away in the shipping notes. We're making it bold and clear so you guys are well aware. Now, in terms of when we will be closed, I am going to try and take a bit of an extended break this year to spend some time with my wife and child and have a bit more of a break, because it's been incredibly busy, and that's thanks to you guys and girls, which is amazing. But I've not really had much holidays this year at all, and you know, that's just the nature of it, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So Friday 22nd of December will be my final day in the office. It will more than likely be a shorter day, because I will want to get home and start my Christmas holiday as well. So Friday 22nd, final day to have an appointment booked in. As of right now, I am not booking in any Saturday appointments. The reason being, I'm going to do later throughout most of the week. So for example, last week was a crazy week with the Black Friday sale, which went incredibly well, so thank you all very much. That will be more normal. So, you know, every Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be here until later, facilitating later appointments for those people who have to travel after work. So I apologize, no Saturdays. I want to kind of protect those on the run up and at least have some days off. Otherwise, I'm just going to be ill during the Christmas break. So Friday, 22nd December, final day in the office, and I'll be back on Monday, the 8th of January. That's officially back for appointments. However, I will likely be in at some point between then to ship out any orders placed between the 22nd and, you know, the 8th of January. So, but I won't be announcing what that is, and I won't be making any promises, but I will do my best to come in maybe 1, maybe 2 days just to get orders out, so that way, you know, I can focus on appointments on Monday the 8th. So hopefully that will make sense. Again, I'll be reiterating that every week, and it is at the top of the page on every single page of the website, so you can see that there. So I apologise for that lengthy intro, but now we're going to crack on. But just before we do, what's on wrist, because everyone always wants to know, I'm wearing a beautiful 50s 18 karat pink gold Movado triple calendar, which is absolutely incredible, and I actually have an 18 karat yellow gold one on the table, which is just as beautiful, but obviously a little bit different. And this watch, as it stands right now, isn't for sale, but you never know, it might be for sale because I can't keep them all, right? And I have a couple of nice Movados at the moment as well. So keep an eye out, it may be for sale eventually. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's crack on with what you're here to see, and that is the watches on the table. And we're going to start with the crazy funk at the top because it's so fun, and I want to show you guys. So we're going to go straight over to this one. This is a Louis Erard and Constantine Chaikin time meters, 39mm. We've had one before, and this is another one. It's great, so let's take a closer look. So first up, the Louis Erard Constantine Chaikin time meters in 39mm. A very fun and unique watch that really represents something interesting. You know, at the end of the day, Constantine Chaikin is known for his unique watches with the sort of crazy eyes and different things he does with the Joker and many other examples. But the price point is definitely up there because they're made in incredibly small numbers and the craftsmanship is incredible. So Louis Erard have been doing such great things with many different watchmakers and making them available at a much more affordable price point by using more affordable movements and a sort of generic design that's then adapted by the brands. For example, this regulator right here, you have a running second at the bottom, and as the hours go, the minute hand goes around, you can see it points at the hours. There's 12 o'clock, for example, 12:30, 1 o'clock, and so on. A really unique way of telling the time, and definitely something really, really interesting. As we flip it over, you're presented with an exhibition case back. This is a limited edition of 178 watches, and that movement you can see right there is an automatic Sellita SW266-1, and this one's from June 2023 with its box paperwork and everything with it. It comes on its original strap, which is this really unique and interesting strap with a purple underside and its original signed buckle as well, as you can see. A really, really wonderful watch. And again, if you're into these more obscure watches and brands like Constantine Chaikin, but you want to get in at a more affordable price, Louis Erard is the way to go with that. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see it is a really, really nice design and a nice size at 39mm by 45mm lug to lug, only 13mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So it's always great when brands do these unique and interesting designs, but keep them wearable. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times these crazy watches end up being quite large and unwearable for most, whereas this is a nice size that pretty much anyone could wear. You also have that beautiful ring of purple around the outside, which I think is a nice touch with the purple stitching. So go check out this one on the website today. Next, we're going on to something absolutely bonkers, and this is a huge watch. So please make sure you know how big this is. Maybe come and see it in person, try it on, because you need to have a big wrist to support this. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so I apologize, but it's an Azimuth Mr. Robot R2 automatic retrograde. It looks like a robot's face. It's very, very cool, very funky, but as I say, huge. So make sure you can wear this, but let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to something you really don't see every day, and this is a brand that produce some of the wackiest watches I have seen, and I think they're doing something very, very interesting. That definitely won't be for everyone, but that is exactly what we love here at Kibble Watches, the kind of things that make you double look and go, what on earth is that? I've never seen it before. This is the Azimuth, and again, I apologize for my butchering of their name, but this is called the Mr. Robot 2. Now, the way it works to tell the time, you have your minutes down here in a retrograde format, your hours up here in the left eye, and the right eye is actually a GMT that you can set independently. So really, really great functionality as well. And the crown is actually this crazy big cog you see right here, which you can use to wind the watch and obviously set the watch. So let me show you how that works. So it's a traditional crown in the sense that you pull the crown out, and as you start changing the time, I would recommend always going clockwise rather than backwards, because with these retrogrades it can be a little tricky on the movement. But as you go forward, you'll get to the 60 minutes and it snaps back to the start, and that is how the time works. You can see the GMT is progressing round along with it in a 24-hour format, and to change that GMT, you pull the crown out in one position and you wind clockwise, as you can see, and it will start progressing that GMT, and you can set it where you want and push in the crown and off you go. There is no running seconds. As we flip the watch around, you'll see this construction which is made of stainless steel and carbon, which is really, really nice, and it adds to the sort of the weight of the watch to help regulate the weight, because if this was all stainless steel at this size, that is a lot of steel and it would be incredibly heavy, whereas carbon is a hell of a lot lighter, plus it just looks really, really cool. As we flip over the watch, you can see an exhibition case back right there with an outside rotor which spins around as you wear it, meaning you can view pretty much the whole movement, which is really, really nice. And that movement right there is an automatic Azimuth caliber 1500.2, which is a modified version of basically a Solita or an ETA. And this watch is from July 2023 with its box and paperwork, and it comes on its original strap with a deployance. So let's jump onto what I think you're all here to see, which is this on wrist, and see how it actually looks. So let's show it on wrist. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So this is definitely not a watch you'll be hiding under any cuff, that's for sure. And it definitely is a statement piece. I don't think it will be your daily watch either, but it will be a watch that you wear when you're feeling crazy, and it's the kind of thing that's definitely going to turn heads. You know, if I was going to like a red bar wearing something like this, I think everyone would be coming over going, what on earth is that? So it definitely has its wow factor. So what you're looking at is 47.5mm by 55mm lug to lug, 16mm on the thickness, and 24mm on the lugs. I do have to say, whilst it is absolutely humongous, I am quite surprised by how well it wears. And that might sound like a strange thing to say, but when you have this watch in hand, it feels immense. And when you put it on wrist, it's actually a hell of a lot more comfortable than you would think. So this is one to book an appointment and come try on for yourself, in my opinion. But go check it out on the website today. Now on to 3 Habrings that we have in this drop, and we're going to start with this one, which again I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so please do forgive me. I'm not very good at saying some of these crazy words. So Habring Felix, I think that's how you say it, in white, manually wound, beautiful watch. Let's take a closer look. On to this incredible Habring, as you can see right here, and you are instantly drawn probably to that sub-seconds over there, which is a 1/8 of a second spinning around beautifully. And the seconds is what we call a deadbeat seconds, where it ticks like a quartz watch, but this is a mechanical watch, and it hits every single marker beautifully, and it just is perfect. It's always great to see mechanical watches like this, because they definitely add to the intrigue. Rolex have done it in the past, and it was surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, not a very big hit for them, but now those watches trade for astronomical values if you can find a nice original one. And it just goes to show how times have changed, where having a mechanical watch that can do this is quite incredible. So as we flip it over, that is where the beautiful work is all happening, and you can see the gear right there turning each second to move that second hand. Beautifully done, beautifully finished as always, as you'd expect from Habring. And that is a manually wound Habring caliber A11MF, and this watch is from 2021 with its box and paperwork. And Habrings come with additional gaskets, hands and crown, and a couple of other parts as well, which is always nice for longevity of servicing intervals for the watch. This one also comes with a spare strap as well as this one, and these are the original buckles. They are unsigned, but yeah, really, really nice overall. So if you're in the market for a Habring, this is definitely one well worth considering. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Another area where Habrings always shine is their wearability. They're very, very comfortable on the wrist. So what you're looking at right here is 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lug, so endless options for swapping this one out. But go check out this beautiful watch on the website today. From there over to a Habring squared Chrono Felix. This is the sport model, manually wound again with a really gorgeous dial. I think this is going to be a big hitter, so let's take a closer look. Now on to a Habring squared. This is the Chrono Felix sport model, which has this really beautiful dial, which in my opinion I think is a lot more vintage than it is modern compared to the Panda one we'll be looking at shortly after. You have this black in the center with the text right there, which is just absolutely beautiful, that bright red second hand, and the vintage style on the chronograph markers. You know, for me this looks like an early 20s or 30s dial, which I think Habring have done a beautiful job with. So as I say, this is the Chrono Felix Sports. This is one of the newer models from October 2022 with its box and paperwork. And it comes on this nice distressed sort of suede, which I think looks really, really great. And this is a mono pusher chronograph. So what that means is the chronograph all operates through a single pusher. So start, stop and reset all through the same pusher, and obviously crown at 3 o'clock. As we flip it over again with Habring, a beautiful movement, really nice bridge work and finishing overall, in my opinion, at this price point. I don't think there's a lot that can sort of beat this. So that is a manually wound Habring caliber A11C-H1. And as I say, this is its original strap, original buckle, which are unsigned and really beautiful overall. Hardly worn, to be honest. A couple of hairline scratches here and there, but nothing major at all. And as you can see, as that light hits it, you can see the different colours used by the hands and the Chrono second as well. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, a really, really nice design and very unique, in my opinion, for what we typically see. So this is 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, only 11.5mm thick and 20mm on the lug. So as always, endless options, but this distressed strap I think really suits the design beautifully. So go check out this one on the website today. And then finally, another Habring Squared Chrono Felix, this time the Panda, a very clean aesthetic in comparison to this one. This one's got more of a heritage design in my opinion, and this one's much more modern. So let's take a closer look. Now on to another Habring, this time the Chrono Felix Panda, and it's kind of incredible really that these are the same watch, same reference, same size, but in my opinion they look completely different. Obviously design-wise, but it just makes them look like two very different watches. This one looks like an old vintage watch. This looks like a very modern, clean aesthetic, in my opinion. So really, really beautiful design. Nice colour on the subdials, which is a blacky grey colour. It's not quite black, it's not quite grey. It's a nice tone in between. Very, very simple, but very nicely done. So as we showed with the last one, this is a mono pusher chronograph, meaning all the function of the chronograph is done for a single pusher. So start, stop, and reset. Manually wound via the crown, and as we flip it over, you're presented with the same movement as the one before. This is a manually wound Habring caliber A11-H1, a very beautiful movement, finished exquisitely, especially at the price point, and a lot of adaptation that Habring do in-house. Great history to them, definitely worth checking out and giving a read on our website. This watch is circa 2021 with its box and paperwork, and it comes on its original really nice brown strap with its original buckle, which is unsigned as we've mentioned. But yeah, let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, as you can see, and as I said before, this is where Habrings really shine in my opinion. They're really great proportion and they look great on the wrist. This is 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, only 11.5mm thick and 20mm on the lug, so endless options for swapping this out. A nice grey strap would look absolutely fantastic on this as well, but with the colour scheme here, to be honest, any strap is going to look good. You could really play around with it. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to an L.U.C. Chopard Time Traveler 1 GMT. This is a well-timed GMT. I have a rose gold one on the website at the moment, which is just the GMT, not the well time, so it's great to have the steel model in. Let's take a closer look. Next up is this wonderful L.U.C. Chopard GMT well timer with the GMT hand that is barely visible in some lights, which I think is kind of nice because the GMT isn't, in my opinion, something you're going to be looking at every time you look at the watch to tell the time, and you need it on occasion. So what you do is you move your wrist to get it to glow beautifully, as you can see right there, or catch the reflection. You have two crowns on this watch, making it look like a compressor case. The top crown is for all your functionality, so winding the watch, setting the watch when pulling the crown fully out. And as we go around, you can see the GMT around the side moves, but the GMT hand stays put. So it's quite an interesting way of having a GMT. So your GMT hand, you set by pulling the crown out one click, and then you move it accordingly to where you want it to be. And as the time progresses, the GMT ring moves as opposed to the GMT hand, meaning that stays put wherever you want it to be. I think it's quite an interesting way of doing it. And then this crown right here, when you pull it out, you can set the world time around the outside. It clicks nicely into place to all of the areas where you could possibly want it to be, and allowing you to track multiple different time zones around the world. And you can set it accurately as well. I won't bore you with the reference to this one, very long reference, so you can go see it on the website. But as we flip it over, a nice exhibition case back showcasing a beautiful movement with incredible finishing, each jewel beautifully highlighted, as you can see. This is the L.U.C. caliber 01 1.05.L, and this model's from 2020, December 2020, with its box and paperwork, and it comes paired on its original strap with its original beautiful buckle. A really, really nice example, and as I say, I have a rose gold, 18 karat rose gold model in at the same time, so if you're wanting to maybe choose between the two, book an appointment, come see them both and see which one you prefer. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist. It's definitely not a small watch, but it doesn't wear big at all, and I think it's incredibly comfortable at 42mm by 50mm lug to lug. It's right on that sweet point that I always talk about, the 50mm lug to lug. It's only 12mm thick and 20mm on the lug, so endless options for swapping this one out, but I think this combination really works and it looks great. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to an Eterna Kentucky manufacturer bronze. This is 43.5mm, really great dial, really great design. And again, a big, heavy bronze watch for those of you that like your bigger watches. Let's take a closer look at that. Now for this awesome Eterna Kentucky manufacturer bronze in 43.5mm. As soon as you pick this watch up, you're presented with the weight, and that bronze case really adds some heft, but in a very, very nice way. And the bronze has developed some patina throughout, but nothing too major. It actually looks really, really nice still. And obviously, bronze is one of those subjective materials on watches. You either like it or you don't, and you either like how it patinas or you don't. So make sure you check that out and see how bronze watches can patina and how you can sort of reverse it and all that kind of stuff. But it has a beautiful textured grey dial with the classic Eterna indices with the 369 and the Eterna logo up at the top. Nice bold, thick markers with big bold hands as well as you'd expect. Central seconds, nice grey bezel as well, and a crown over at 3 o'clock, as you can see right here, which is screw down, nice big crown. And as we flip it over, you're presented with an exhibition caseback showcasing Eterna's own manufacture caliber. This is the caliber 3902A, and this model's from April 2018 with its full box and paperwork, and is actually limited to just 300 pieces total. Comes on its original strap with its original bronze buckle, which again looks really fantastic. And whilst this is a big watch at 43mm, it actually wears incredibly comfortably. So yeah, let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, it's a big watch, but that wears nicely. And to be honest, I think it looks at home. This kind of design suits the bigger style. So what you're looking at is 43.5mm by 52.5mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick, and 22mm on the lug. So there are endless options for swapping this out. But to be honest, this vintage style brown 2-stitch strap I think looks perfect on the watch. So go check it out on the website today. Now let's go on to vintage. We have two on the table, and we're going to start with this one. This is a near new old stock 1969 Tudor Prince Day Date Jumbo in 38mm with the nicest dial and handset I have personally seen. A really, really great piece with a Portuguese date disc as well. So let's take a closer look. Next up is this gorgeous vintage Tudor, and what you're looking at is what we call near new old stock. So let's explain that. There's new old stock, and then there's what we call near new old stock, which is where it is completely unpolished and has been worn a handful of times, but is as close to brand new or new old stock as you're going to get without finding one literally brand new in a packet. So there will be some hairline scratches, some storage marks from over the years, but again, nothing major and definitely well within any realm of being incredible for the age of this watch, which is 1969. The fact this watch looks like this still today with those beautiful chamfers all around that really incredibly sharp bezel, stickers still on the case back, all of these different things. It's really incredible to find something like this. And that dial as well, that dial right there is an original grey dial with tritium throughout and the tritium in the handset, which is aged to this warm brown tone. You have a Portuguese date disc and a day wheel over there at 3 o'clock with a Cyclops over the crystal. Now this is the reference 7017/0, which is a jumbo reference, which is in relation to the size. This is 38mm, which is the biggest size day date at the time by Tudor or Rolex for the period, as I say, 1969. Now as we flip it over, you can see the remnants of a sticker on there and the Rolex caseback, Rolex crown as you'd expect. And inside is an automatic AS caliber 1895, which is what Tudor used back in the day for these models. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And this right here is why people absolutely love the jumbo reference. That larger size in the 38mm looks incredible. So this is 38mm by 47mm lug to lug, 11.5mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes to make strap changing nice and easy. Comes paired on this beautiful brown strap, which is really soft and supple. It doesn't come with any box or paperwork, unfortunately, but again, an example like this, they just don't come up often. So snap them up whilst you can in this kind of condition. Go check it out on the website today. From that one to a 1940s Movado 18 karat yellow gold triple date in 32mm, a really cute and nice example, perfect for him or for her. So let's take a closer look. So Movado time with this gorgeous 18 karat yellow gold Movado triple date, as we call it. So what you're presented with is a pointer date over here, which has the date all the way up to 31st over here. Around the outside, you have the day over there at 9 o'clock and the month over at 3 o'clock. So you have all the sort of options there for a date. Now, as you progress through the time and it goes past midnight, the date and the day will automatically change over. However, when you get past 31st, the month doesn't change over. That's a limitation of the caliber and the movement at the period they were using. And for them to have the ability for it to change everything, that was a hell of a lot more money and a lot more expensive. So you have to manually change the month each month. Now the pusher down here changes the date around the outside, and the pusher up here at 2 o'clock changes the month over there. Nice and easy to do. To change the date, the day you've got to manually go round. So hopefully that explains how the functionality works. Really nice crown on this one over here at 3 o'clock. As I say, 18 karat yellow gold. And this watch is from the circa 1940s, and as we flip it over, a nice plain case back, and behind that is a manually wound Movado caliber 420. The reference to this one is 4776, and as I say, circa 1940s, incredible. Now that dial is a refinished dial, that is not the original dial, but it's done nicely, and again, it really sort of has this nice grainy texture, which I think looks really great, and it was done quite a while ago because it does have some patina to it. So again, nicely done. Let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Do not be scared by the size of this one. It packs a hell of a punch for the size, in my opinion, and is super charming on wrist. This is 32mm by 38mm lug to lug, 10.5mm on the thickness and 16mm on the lugs, paired on this nice alligator strap, which I think looks absolutely beautiful. But go check this watch out on the website today. From there over to personally my favorite configuration of the Pelagos. This is the Pelagos in blue, the full size 42mm on the bracelet. It comes with the rubber strap as well, etc. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to the Tudor Pelagos titanium 42mm in the blue. I absolutely love this watch, as I said in the intro. I really like the combination of this really bright matte blue color that they've used and the tone of titanium, which is this off grey color compared to stainless steel. If you've not had the chance to see titanium like this in person, I definitely recommend booking an appointment to come see it for yourself. It's very, very attractive. And the reference to this one is 25600TB. And as we flip open the watch, and you can see the case back right there, nice solid screw down case back. Behind that is an automatic Tudor caliber MT5612, which features a date over at 3 o'clock, which they've done a very nice job of matching to the dial. So at a quick glance, you don't actually notice it's a date wheel and not an indice, which I think is really good. The bezel is loomed as well with the markers, which looks fantastic. Nice big screw down crown, nice and easy to use. And the bracelet on this model is fantastic as well. It has one of the first adjustable bracelets that Tudor introduced. Now you have 3 positions, as you can see, 3 dots at the start. Those are fixed positions, as in you can move it along each position by pulling. It's like sprung loaded, if I can show this, if it wants to focus. I apologize. It's sprung loaded, as you can see. So when you pull up, you can move along to which position you want it to be. And then the final position, if you come out of all of those, this is on a spring as well, where it stretches. So that will adjust as you wear it to sort of fit over a wetsuit, if that makes sense. You also have a huge dive extension, which if you push this and pop it out, that's how that works. Very self-explanatory. And a nice fold over clasp, as you'd expect. Now this one does come with its full links and its full box and papers from December 2022, and it comes with a nice rubber strap that fits onto the end link. So when you take the bracelet off, you use the end link to fit in the rubber strap, so you have that solid piece right there. And it also comes with a additional bit of rubber, which is an extension. So if you are diving, you can put that on and have it extended over a wetsuit as well. So that's how that works. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Definitely a good looking watch, especially when the sun comes in at the perfect point and hits it. The blue is mesmerizing. So this is 42mm by 50mm lug to lug, 14mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lugs. Really, really great watch, great proportions. It actually wears really nice considering the big size. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to a Longines Lindenberg hour angle automatic in 38mm, a very, very nice size with the sort of hunter style case back. Really gorgeous watch, and the box and the papers and everything is really nice as well. I think this is one of Longines' best pieces in the heritage range personally. So let's take a closer look. Next up, a beautiful Longines Lindenberg hour angle re-edition. I will not go into the detailed history of the Lindenberg and the hour angle by Longines. You can go read that over on the website or further in articles to save on time for this very long video. But what you can see right here is a beautifully inspired design by the original watch by Longines. You have this nice rotating bezel right here, the gorgeous white dial with the Roman numerals and the inner display on the inside as well, which you can move independently. So as you pull out the crown, you can change the time, and as we rotate the crown in the second position, you can actually move that disc, which is really, really cool and allows you to track multiple different things at once. Very nicely done by Longines. And you can see the crown is this nice onion style crown as well. Now as we flip it over, you're presented with a simple case back, and you can see a hinge right here and a button right here. If you push that button, it pops open the case back, and as we open it, you can see all of the inscription on the inside and an exhibition case back hidden under that hunter style back. Very nicely done. So this is a reference to 628.524, and this is the automatic Longines caliber L628.1 inside, and this one's from May 2017 with its box paperwork. It does have its original strap, but we've paired it on this really beautiful strap, which I think suits the watch beautifully, and its original buckle, which is very reminiscent of the original. Again, beautifully done. The original was far bigger than this, so this is a faithful re-edition, actually done smaller, which we very rarely see. Typically brands, they take like a 34mm design and blow it up to like 44mm for the re-edition, whereas this is the opposite. They've actually gone smaller, and it's really beautiful on wrist. This is the smallest of the re-editions they've done of this, and I think probably the best suited for most people's wrists. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Very, very comfortable and very nicely proportioned at 38mm by 42mm lug to lug, only 11.5mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lug, so endless options for that. But this pairing I think works beautifully and looks incredible. It looks like a nice pigskin strap, so go check it out on the website today. And then over to a Sinn, and this is the 104 STSA Black, the classic. This in my opinion is what I think of when I think of Sinn for the most part, so let's take a closer look at this one. On to Sinn, and this is an incredibly German watch in its design. It's simple but beautifully done and very, very practical. This is the Sinn 104 STSA in black, and the exact reference is 104.010. As you can see, this is the strap model with this nice thick brown leather strap, sort of like bordering browny black, which I think suits the watch beautifully. You have the syringe style hands, day date over at 3 o'clock, this nice bold bezel with the loom pip at the top, and polished edges with a beautiful chamfer, as we come to expect from Sinn. Nice screw down crown, and as we flip it over, you're presented with an exhibition case back showcasing the automatic Solita SW220-1. And this one's from July 2023. With its box and papers, meaning it comes under its manufacturer warranty still, which is always nice. As I say, original strap, original signed buckle. I think it suits the design perfectly. There are other strap options and bracelet options from Sinn directly, and the reality is, this being a 20mm strap width, you could totally swap it out for pretty much anything. And a watch like this, in my opinion, looks really good on a huge variety of straps. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now, just to sort of be warned, I am pretty much on the last hole for my wrist size, so it is quite a long strap. So be warned, if you do have very small wrists, you might need an additional strap. So this is 40mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, 11.5mm on the thickness and 20mm at the lugs. So strap changing nice and easy, and plenty of options out there that are going to look fantastic on this. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to a Yema, and this is the Superman 500 GMT automatic Pepsi in 39mm, a really, really great looking piece. So let's take a closer look at that one. Next up, the Yema Superman GMT Pepsi, as we call it, because it is blue and red. But to be honest, in most lights, unless you really catch it like there, this bezel at the top does look black, and it's very, very dynamic. It sort of gives both looks, which I think is really, really cool. Same with the red. In certain lights, it's this dark maroonish color, and then in other lights, it pops this vibrant red. Really nicely done by Yema, and I think suits the design perfectly. Red tip on the second hand, simple black dial, very heritage in design and harping back to their original designs, and a date over at 3 o'clock as well. Now the bezel does rotate, but when you've screwed down the crown, the bezel doesn't rotate, because this is reminiscent of their vintage locking bezel feature, where when you unscrew the crown, this little metal piece moves, as you can see, and what that allows you to do is then move the bezel, and as you screw the crown back in, it fastens that piece to the bezel, locking it in place. A very, very clever feature that they used back in the day. Obviously not necessary today, but it's nice that they've incorporated that into the design as more of a design feature than just a functionality feature. So as I say, this is the Superman GMT. I won't bore you with the reference, incredibly long reference, but as we open it up and flip it over, let's show you the nice case back. Yema do very, very nice case backs, as you can see, and inside that is an automatic Yema caliber 3000, and this one's from April 2023 with its box and paperwork. It does come on this bracelet, which doesn't have any spare links. The size of what this will fit is on the website, but it does come with a brand new unused bracelet by Yema in the box as well to choose between, so 2 options there, which is very, very nice. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. On my 7-inch wrist, this will fit around a 7.25-inch wrist on this bracelet, and spare links can be had from Yema directly. This is 39mm by 48mm lug to lug, only 13.5mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. Really, really great design, so go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, an incredibly affordable watch that is affordable brand new and affordable pre-owned with us as well. That's the Orient Kamasu Mako 3 with the red brownie dial. Really, really nice configuration. I've had multiple of these over the years, and this dial and colour I think works beautifully. So let's take a closer look at that one. Now on to an incredibly affordable watch in this week's drop, but one that really does pack a punch for the price in my opinion. That is this Orient Kamasu Red, which features this more brown maroonish style dial, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Screw down crown, original bezel, which has this brown and red tones, and the loom itself has this faux patina as well, like a browny hue. All in all, I think it works really, really nicely with the design, and it's very, very attractive. Day date over there at 3 o'clock. I won't bore you with the reference, incredibly long reference as always with these. And as we flip it over, you're presented with a screw down case back, and inside is an automatic Orient caliber F6922, and this one's from circa 2022 with its box and paperwork and all of its links included for this 3-link oyster style bracelet, which is very, very comfortable, very easy to size, and you have adjustment on the clasp to get that perfect fit as well. All in all, a watch like this, pre-owned under £200, is just a no-brainer in my opinion. Perfect Christmas gift for someone coming up, to maybe get them into watches if they're not already, or for someone who is into watches, this is a great watch just to have in the collection. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably fitted on my 7-inch wrist. You can see how good that looks. This is 42mm by 46mm lug to lug, 13mm on the thickness and 22mm on the lug, so endless options. But to be honest, the bracelet looks best in my opinion. So go check this one out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls, 14 watches this week. Thank you very much to any of you who actually sat through all of that. I'm sure it was quite a long video. Hopefully you still enjoyed it. Hopefully it was entertaining at least, and you got to learn a few bits and bobs and see some watches you've maybe never seen before. And that's always the goal at Kibble Watches. Every week I want to bring at least one watch you've never seen before, and I think this week hopefully we'd have achieved that. So let me know down in the comments what's your favorite watch from this week's drop, and again I look forward to seeing you next week, the 9th of December, for the next drop, which may be as big as this. I'm going to do my best to not get as many in before Christmas, but at the end of the day I want to bring you guys the stock, because there may be a gap of drops between Christmas and New Year. There might not be, depending on how much I get in, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll see you all again next week. Take care.